It's a few minutes before I have to leave for school here, Wednesday, January 30th, and I thought I would stop by and test out this webcam on the new PC. Oops, Mac, the new Mac. Um, so last night I attended a meeting hosted by Department of Education Secretary Mark Murphy at the Wallace Wallen School in the Colonial School District in Newcastle. I was impressed with the meeting. I felt that there was a good mix of education professionals in the room who had no problem at all sharing in good detail and with great candor how they feel the first year that DPAS evaluations are being rolled out has gone, how the process, the implementation has gone. For those who don't know, DPAS, the Delaware Performance Appraisal System, is Delaware's way of evaluating the effectiveness or ineffectiveness based on 5 components. Some of the components are a little less controversial, evaluating on classroom environment, planning and preparation, things like that. The controversial component is called Component 5, and that takes into account a student's standardized test scores when labeling a teacher for the year as either effective or ineffective. And there are many different arguments for or against DPAS Component 5, and I don't really want to get into that. I do want to get into this. I was a little concerned when the Department of Education made an announcement a few days ago that they are going to extend the window, the DCAS testing window. Students can now take the DCAS test through May 30th. May 30th. It was May 6th several weeks ago. The thinking being that many school districts like to have their staffing decisions made for the following school year by May 15th. So what we need to do is have all of the testing done by May 6th so school districts can know about those effective or ineffective teachers they want to keep or fire by the May 15th deadline that is generally accepted by many school districts to complete their hiring for the following school year, their staffing for the following school year. And I found this a little disconcerting because the Department of Education is again putting something back on school boards. They're announcing, well, we want to give you more time to take the test, but oh yeah, most of your school boards, they're going to want to have their staffing decisions in place for the following school year 2 weeks before we close that window. So again, this is, I think, puts the onus on school boards to make these decisions. So what's going to happen? Is the school board going to hold off on staffing decisions that are usually made by May 15th so they can allow some schools to finish testing and then make the decisions on DPAS effectiveness later down the road? Or are the school boards just going to put the kibosh on the idea of extending the test window and tell teachers, principals, you need to be done the test by such and such date? That's the one real big concern I have with that, and within that problem, I see another problem developing, and that is the issue of the test window only going through May leaves out, theoretically, a good chunk of instruction that is covered on that end-of-year test. The test window actually opens in the winter. So teachers can begin assessing their students on the end of year DCAS test well before the end of year. But on that test will be material that is supposed to be taught throughout the year. So, because so many schools have issues with technology, they don't have enough computers, they don't have enough classrooms to put computers, we don't have enough. Principals typically have to spread out the testing over several months so that all students can take the test. So, imagine you're Mrs. McGillicuddy teaching 10th grade English, and you still have 3 months of curriculum to get through. But your school doesn't have enough computers for everyone to take the test at the end of the year when all of that curriculum has been covered. Mrs. McGillicuddy has been scheduled to give the test in March, when there are still 3 months of school left. Ms. McGillicuddy's evaluation is going to be based on student test scores of tests that the students have taken on material that they haven't yet been taught. This is why we feel, many of my fellow education colleagues, teachers, that the Department of Education just doesn't get it. And we have but really one thing to blame for this, and that's race to the top. Race to the top, the reason we won that application, we won that $119 million, was because we stated we would be putting into place a more reliable and effective teacher evaluation system. This is what we got with Race to the Top. And unless we want to pay back a big chunk of that money for not executing Race to the Top with fidelity to the application that we filed, we have to go through it, go through with it. As grievance chair for the Red Clay Education Association, I see a lot of problems here, and the Department of Education does not get it.